Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Booley. How are you doing?
Indeed. I'm doing so good, thank you. I feel like it's getting summer nice and ready. The Western Cape was looking so warm this week, so it's really cool to be alive. It's a good day to be alive.
Good December, boss. So today we're very lucky to have a living legend of South African politics in our loft. He started his long career in the Transkei Defence Force, where he worked his way up to commander in the 80s. He eventually moved into politics, and his career took him on a journey to co-founding the United Democratic Movement.
Indeed, and we're so excited to have him. It's Bantu Holomisa. He's the leader of the UDM, and he's here, and he recently published his biography detailing his life and journey inside politics. And on that note, I want you to head over to our social media platforms today and join the conversation. We're asking you what your thoughts are on discussing politics on social media. Do you think it's overall a good idea, or is it maybe perhaps something that you just stay out of the platform? It should be not the place to discuss politics. You can tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page, and don't talk about politics on our page.
Do you talk politics on social media?
Only if it's necessary. I don't out badmouth anyone or out anybody.
Yeah,
I think it's important to create discourse and conversation, but
absolutely
not to necessarily point anybody out about it.
I agree. Yeah. So no, plus we've got some midweek food inspiration for you as well. Guest chef Ogunaya Mngoni is making us the ultimate mandwich. Now I'm not quite sure, what's a mandwich?
So it's basically like a club sandwich, but like to the extreme. It's like got everything in it.
Is it for men?
No, but it's a sandwich that I don't think any petite diet could ever manage.
Okay.
Should we put it to the test?
Yeah, because some men don't eat small portions, and because some women don't eat big portions.
Ooh,
anyway,
let's have a
it's got
challenge in the
bacon,
loft.
chicken, chili, mayo. It's got pickles and Parmesan crisps, all sandwiched into a toasted bun.
It's going to be so yummy. Before we get the show on the road, remember that tropical island of treasure, Maldives, is heading your way very soon, and it's your chance to win huge. All you have to do is purchase a Tropica bottle and follow the instructions on pack. Here's what's up for grabs.
Get a taste of the smooth life and win when you buy Tropica. Follow the entry details on your Tropica bottle and stand a chance to win daily airtime prizes, weekly giveaways of Fujifilm Instax cameras, Daniel Klein His and Hers watches, or travel vouchers. You could also win the grand prize of a trip for two to the Maldives and stay at the luxurious Adoran Resorts. Visit tropica.co.za for info and T's and C's.
The General, welcome to Afternoon Express. It's an absolute honor to have you on the couch to be able to unpack what has been an incredible life's journey of yours.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's nice to be here, and I'm looking forward to engage you guys.
Yes.
Why did it take you so long to write a book?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have time. Even this one, I was always not available to write it. But finally, here is the product.
Sure. And it's a beautifully written book, my word.
Thank you.
The first chapter is entitled A Royal Upbringing. How obviously distinct is a royal upbringing to one of a normal child in South Africa? What stands out for you in those years?
It's more about strict environment, discipline. As a head boy, I had to make sure that I carry the instructions or the orders of our parents. And also on Sundays, as we go to church, and then Mondays to Fridays, you are at school. And then after school, you go and collect or check the cows and sheep as livestock as to whether they are all there. And if you don't carry your orders or carry the orders, sometimes you get clapped a little bit.
Yeah.
During those days, corporal punishment was not a taboo. It was always done if you don't toe the line.
Yes.
And obviously that's changed nowadays. I mean, that law's obviously changed around. Do you feel like it was something that contributed towards your discipline as a man growing up in South Africa, that it was something that you wish more parents would, be given permission to do?
Yes, it contributed, but at home I was not subjected to that. But at school, sometimes the teacher, you arrive late, and then it twists your ear, and then a little bit of shambok in your hand. Yeah. But it shaped us, some of us.
Yeah. And growing up, did you always have just like an intuition and a knowing that you were destined for leadership, that you wanted to be a great leader, or was it something that you in your later years grew into?
Well, during later years, really, it started when I went to Jongilizwe College, and then I became a vice prefect, head prefect, and also was a captain of rugby. And the responsibility to see to it that the hostel and the classrooms are in good nick as a deputy vice prefect. So, and then I went to army, and then again was discipline. It's worse.
But I don't know if necessarily that was the only time of sort of consciousness. I think deep down ingrained in just your genetics, there's leadership in your family. You know, your grandfather's well respected for all of his farming. Your father was respected for being the chief of your community, and the way that he used to, you know, lead that community. You had to leave immediately. Your mom was living in Johannesburg, working as a nurse, and so a lot of your life was in fact walking you towards a journey of solitude and of learning discipline and leadership. So this was part of your journey.
Well, as children of in the royal family, we witness how the meetings are conducted. People arrive on time, and there's a program director, there's someone who's taking notes, and the chief will sit there and listen to the people, and then finally he would sum up everything, and that is the plan which will be followed by the villagers.
Tell us about your years at Jongilizwe. You know, obviously a lot of your ideology was formed there because of what you were exposed to in terms of reading material and the open-mindedness of the teaching.
Jongilizwe College was a special college for sons of chiefs. And over and above the normal standard 10 or grade 12 subjects we were taught, we were also taught some other subjects which were designed to shape us as future leaders. When I passed a grade 12 or standard 12, standard 10,
yes,
I had 2 certificates, one for the normal standard 10 and one on leadership. So the leadership courses which we're exposed to were courses such as conduct of public affairs, current affairs, office routine, African law, and introduction to public admin. So when we were taught these subjects, all along we were taught to be a leader, and also we were taught how to analyze situation on the ground, and so on. I remember in 1990, that must have been 1975, when I was completing my matric, our teacher who was teaching us current affairs, Advocate Dumisa Nsabeza, he would give us an assignment, for instance, to say if the Secretary of State, we would assess whether he would succeed in his trip to Middle East. That was Henry Kissinger.
Wow.
Henry Kissinger was the Secretary of the State. So if you were to leave USA for Middle East, then we will be given an assignment. Do you think Henry Kissinger will be managed to be listened to by the Egyptians, and so on?
Wow.
But how controversial? Because I think at the time, what was so interesting about the school is there was a collaboration between the chiefs and the apartheid government to provide this kind of education. So it was designed, I guess, they were hoping that it would be a system that would keep you in your boxes. Yet this school was always challenging those norms, and eventually a whole bunch of things were going on in politics at the time, and they discovered that you were being taught things that you probably shouldn't be taught when a new teacher came to substitute.
Well, you can blame Advocate Dumisa Nsabeza for that. But at the same time, we were able to read books which were unbanned in our library.
That no other school had?
Yes, other schools didn't have that access to such material. And also on the subject of current events, you had to know what's happening in the world, as well as in South Africa. And also we were involved at that stage on a number of different debates. I remember we debated the advent of Transkei's independence, 1975. Transkei became independent in 1976. So we're debating the pros and cons as to whether it is feasible that Transkei.
So when you actually fought it, it was like you had learned this from sort of school days, which is beautifully fascinating. So this whole plan of trying to develop a school that was going to keep you in your boxes backfired completely on the apartheid government.
No, it backfired because I remember Mr. Abraham was a South African commissioner in Transkei then. He had to walk out in one of those annual orators debate competition because we were hard on the Pretoria government to say Transkei can be independent and so on. So he had to walk out and says, these boys are silly, they don't have respect and so on. But we continued.
Yeah, what really stands out for me is the idea that you could teach children about public admin, public administration, which is a very pivotal aspect of leadership. And do you see ways that the education system could introduce that into curriculums earlier on? Not even just for kids who maybe want to be politicians, but just
consciousness,
yeah, for consciousness and to run systems. I mean, our administration sometimes in South Africa is quite weak.
I hope that some of the subjects we were taught can be included in today's syllabus. Incidentally, in the book, you will see that I was the initiator, or I was amongst the founders of the project called Tutuka, whose aim was to produce more black chartered accountants. We produced together with a mathematics teacher in year 1998. We produced study guides for maths, English, and accounting. And we worked with the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, with the CEO, the energetic CEO there called Chantel, a lady called Chantel Mulder. She's still there. So that project has since produced over 2,000 black chartered accountants in the country. So I hope we can also include in the syllabus, at least our kids to be taught basics of how to have a ledger, do a ledger,
cash flow statements, all that kind of, all the basics.
Self-governance as well.
There's so much I want to talk about, because obviously high schools are really important spaces, and particularly for you in the way that you grew up. But not only is it good for education, this man also met the woman of his dreams during his school career. So we'll catch up more about that and so much more of his political career later on Afternoon Express after these breaks.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Seated with us still on the couch is General Bantu Holomisa. We're going to chat more about his family and how he met the love of his life.
Indeed. So before we get into meeting the love of your life, I want to understand the relationship you had with your family. Because your mom obviously left at a very young age. She went to, your mom lived in Johannesburg. She was working as a nurse out that side. And you have an interesting relationship with Johannesburg. Your viewpoint was everyone leaves the Transkei, goes to Johannesburg, and then just never comes back. And so you had quite a distant relationship with your mom.
You describe it as a monster that swallowed up your mother.
Yes, the Johannesburg, typical of people from the homelands. It was more modeled around the migrant labor system. Men and women would go and work in Johannesburg and leave their children back at home. But fortunately, I was taken away from our home and taken to be hidden somewhere in...
one of your uncle's friends, right?
Yes, yes. And then I grew up, and when I look back now, I says I was fortunate because he was strict and he was putting more emphasis on emphasis on education and also to look after the animals.
But weren't you angry? Because you had three moms, basically. If I'm not mistaken, your mom left, but then you had your mom, adoptive mom, in inverted commas, and she passed away, and then her sister looked after you.
Yeah, there was no difference. But I enjoyed when mom comes back from Joburg over the holidays.
Why?
Period. No, I bring clothes, I bring sweets, and so on. But I was more closer to the mom, the other mom who was looking after me.
Bantu Holomisa describes you as a man who's raised and looked after many children. Obviously, you are a very strong family man, and family values are an important aspect of your life.
Yes, a lot of, including Nkosi, particularly Holomisa, when he came back when he completed his matric. He stayed at my house in Umtata. He was studying at the University of Transkei then. And many other siblings and relatives of the Holomisas would come to my house in Umtata and attend school. So Mandla was more referring to that. And when we went to Pretoria, a lot of their friends would visit them over the weekend in our small shack there, and they would spend their weekends with my kids, and I treated them the same.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Let's get to the juicy bit of how you met your wife at school. Clearly, you're a man who knows what he wants, because there was was one of your master's daughters that you ended up meeting. She was out of reach then, but now you guys married, 3 kids.
Tunyelwa was a daughter of one of the boarding masters at the college. So the first time I met her was she was just a little girl playing in the lawn there, and later on I met her in Tata in one of the shops there. I said, "Man, I think you look like so and so of Mr. Dube." I said, "Yes, I am. How do you know?" "No, I saw you at the college." I said, "I remember." Remember, I was Bantu Bonke. My name Bantu Bonke Holomisa. Yes, yes. The rest is history.
One comment. He says the shop. I think he means the club. You know?
Absolutely.
Who knows?
You also keep your wife and your children very sheltered from from political life. It's we don't get to hear too much about them or see them too much. Was that a conscious decision?
Yeah, I would say yes, because my wife is an academic. He lectures at the University of South Africa and writes books as well. One of the reasons why I didn't want to write this book, when the SARS assessed her, estimating that this is the money she's supposed to pay, and then she said, "Lavi, can you help me with money for tax?" I said, no, that's your book. And then she says, "But we were married in community of property. This thing must be shared by us." And then I had a negative attitude about writing a book.
How much it takes from you.
Yes, but otherwise my daughter is in the public relations space. My son is also in the public relations space. He's a brand manager for one of the big companies in this country. But I said to them, they must follow their own careers, and I cannot force them to be politicians. So maybe that's why you don't see them.
Perhaps.
Yes, yes.
Reading this book was really touching because you've revealed most things, and I really wanted to understand the impact that it had of your daughter's passing, your oldest daughter's passing. May soul rest in peace. But what was that? How did that affect you as a father, as a politician, as a man, you know, man of God? What was going through your life at that point?
Well, the truth of the matter, I couldn't accept that it had happened because firstborn and very close to us. And above all, she went to theater and says, Daddy, it will be 15 minutes and then I'll be out. Later on, we were told that he's out of the theater, he's safe, she's safe, and then went back again. By 12 midnight, sad news came through.
Sure.
It was unbelievable.
And it was through the birthing of one of your grandchildren that happened.
Yes, because what happened there was she got ectopic pregnancy. So it complicated.
Sure. I'm sorry to hear. And thank you for sharing this in the book. I think it's really good to see the human side of such a strong man. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about your military years. Just what stands out for you about those years, and what were some of your greatest victories? Because you did lead a coup or two.
Yeah, military, yes, I rose through the ranks, did a lot of military courses here in South Africa and also in Zimbabwe. And culminated in me being appointed as a commander of the Transkei Defence Force then. When we toppled the government of Matanzima and Stella Stau, we forged relations with liberation movements immediately in early 1988. And we had an opportunity as a result of sending our troops or officers to various countries, being facilitated by the ANC's Chief of Staff, Chris Hani, and Steve Chwete. As a result, the officers of Transkei Defence Force were more advanced than those of the homelands, other homelands, and the SADF, because they couldn't train their people outside the country. Oh, wow. So we were more exposed to the...
Sure. Oh, there's so much to unpack, and there's a particular chapter in the story which I loved reading from him. He said, you know, that he taught Madiba to walk and Madiba taught him to crawl. And what's so beautiful about that story is we'll share later on Afternoon Express. So more of his political history coming up after these. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3, and with all the conversation that's happening on the show today with the General Bantu Holomisa, and I hope you guys are busy tweeting, by the way. We'd love to hear from you. Hashtag Afternoon Express. With all of that talking on the show, the best way to have that conversation is over dinner. And so we've kind of gone with a meal that can serve kings on the show today. We're making a mandwich, which Bonnie's offended by. It should be called a womandwich / mandwich. It could be any sandwich.
Let's be safe. Sandwich.
Look at this thing, people. Just look at the size of the sandwich. It's basically a delicious club sandwich. And if you're at home or wanting to know about how to make it, don't worry about it. You can literally send an SMS to 33650 at a cost of R1.50. Remembering your free SMSs don't apply. What you'll do is you'll get all the ingredients on here. And the keyword you SMS to that is eat. So yes, SMS eat 33650 and all the details will come to your smartphone. Let's get started, dude.
Right, so it's easy. Okay, I use cremonnaise or creme on ice. That's what I call it. So I lather some of this cremonnaise on the bread to actually toast it up. Sure. It actually gives a better color than butter. You know, we want all those grill marks on there.
So Clem taught me the other day, in fact, how to use cremonnaise on the outside of another recipe for a grill, for a piece of meat.
Yeah, it gives it a good grill. Those grill marks, you actually see them perfectly. And the crunch as well.
Yummy. All right, so this is just for the outside as we grill the outside of the sandwich.
Definitely.
I'm sure there's lots more to this than just grilling pieces of toast.
Definitely.
So teach me about the rest.
So, as you can see, I'm grilling, that's that. And then we just layer it. So, as you can see with the pre-made one right there, we layer all the flavors. We have cheddar, we have bacon, we've got chicken. The chicken's easy. If you have leftover chicken breast, cut that up, and there you have one of the fillings for your sandwich.
Delicious. So it's basically a club sandwich that we're using, but making it on a much bigger piece of toast. So this is like perfect for like a sort of weekend snack that you can have for a couple of days, I'd imagine, afterwards.
Definitely. So you want to get the other side as well with a cremonnaise.
Okay, cool.
Or creme on ice.
You like things, don't you? You like sauce and you like things.
Gotta be saucy.
Cool.
So,
but just for the sake of TV, I guess, we'll show everyone how to kind of put them together and how to combine it. So how do you create these layers without them, you know, falling apart?
Well, we've got skewers right here. You have to use skewers. Skewers are your thing, or the whole thing will just fall apart. I mean, you've got gherkins right here, which just slide, the bread will just slide off. You've got bacon as well, which is oily. Okay. So you need some type of, I don't know, stability for the bread. So we use skewers to hold that up. Okay.
This will have a nice grill on the one side. Ah, there we go. So I'll just show you the grills on this for now. I'm just going to start combining in the meantime. You at home don't have to worry to watch us like grill bread. I think we all know how to grill bread on a stove. Let's just get going with trying to like layer the pieces so you can really see how to make some nice elements because I want to know how you made that.
That is easy. This is just a cheese, sort of like a cheese crunch type of thing. You grate your cheese. I usually make it with Parmesan, actually.
Oh, nice.
Grate your Parmesan into the oven. You'll see once it starts turning all golden, like right we have here, it's perfect.
Done and dusted. Okay, cool.
Take it out and wait for it to cool down in order to actually get that whole crunchy flavor onto that.
Love it. I've seen them in the restaurants, so now I can know how to make my own.
Then layer some bacon into that.
So then I'm trying to see the layers on your one. So then you've got bacon and then you've got your gherks.
Yeah.
Pickles.
Pickles, yeah.
If you have your favorite ingredients, I'd also love to know what you guys would like to put on your sandwiches. If you dig them, tell us what you would put on your very own mandwich, because this is the perfect treat for this coming weekend. Cool.
And then we've got a chili sauce here. So what I'll do, maybe it's too hot for you.
No, never too hot.
Add a bit of the cremonnaise to sort of cool it down a bit.
Ta-da!
And then you've got a mellow chili sauce.
I love it. Nice ideas. Very, very cool. All right, so
you
basically just layer this up bit by bit, choose your different flavors, choose your different ingredients. Okanai has gone with his very own version on the show today. And if you want his particular one, you SMS the keyword EAT to 33650. It's really, really simple to make your very own mandwich, courtesy of Afternoon Express. This looks so good.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Little bit of chicken.
Little bit of chicken.
There we go. Nearly there. And voila, all the different ingredients that you love the most. If you guys are obviously thinking of making something fun for this weekend, I really recommend this recipe. So now we've got the food for the conversation that needs to continue. We'll see you after the break for more from General Bantu Holomisa.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. General Bantu Holomisa has just recently released his biography called The Game Changer, and we've been chatting about his life and times, family life and career life. And let's chat more about politics.
Indeed. So you've had such an incredible journey with politics. I remember during my high school career and during my law studies, your name came up so many times, especially when it came to that TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where you were not afraid to speak your mind and tell the truth. And so we are kind of getting to the point now in our conversation where I'm sure we're going to move towards your expulsion from the ANC and how much you believed in them. But how did you get from being so involved in, you know, your militant days, kind of making your way towards the ANC during, you know, the revolution?
Well, I would say it started on the day when I went to Soweto to see Mr. Mandela in 1990 after he was released.
Did he give you a call?
I was called by his wife then, Winnie. And Winnie said to me, Bantu, I'm happy that you have met Madiba. Madiba has no bodyguards as we speak. And we cannot go and ask the clerk to supply police, and that would be a PR disaster for a leader of the ANC. So would you mind to see to it that Madiba gets protection from your soldiers?
Sure.
So that very afternoon, then I was on duty after we met Mandela in the morning, had lunch, and then I was already on duty that afternoon sending messages to the commander of the Transkei Defence Force to say, please book a flight for these guys, and then we clear the weapons with South Africa that they are going to protect Madiba. We carried that project up until July 1990, when the members of Mkondo Wesizwe at least were ready and they've come back from exile.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound like you have a very special relationship with Nelson Mandela. Please tell us about it.
Yeah, and why did you call the chapter Madiba's Shadow?
Well, with Madiba we worked well. It's very easy to be a friend of, it was very easy to be a friend of Madiba, because if he has given you an assignment, you keep him informed to say, this is where am I now? This is what is going on. Here is a problem. I need assistance here, and so on. And we kept that relationship at that level. And contrary to those who would go to see Mandela and going there for material-related issues, resources, I've never asked 1 cent from Mr. Mandela or asked him to please, can you talk to Oppenheimers to give me a mine or a farm or something like that? It was purely about us, Madiba, and
Bringing
Bantu.
change, yeah.
Yes, yes. And a lot, we trained each other. I trained him as well to say that when you now, there's a possibility. I said to him 1992, the possibility that you might be a president of the country one day. That was 91, yes. So you must learn to do inspection, guard of honors, and so on. And you are traveling all over, you are being invited, even before you become a head of state. So when you do a guard of honor, in the military guard of honor, you don't stop and greet every soldier you see there, because that's your weakness. So, okay, Bantu. Okay, now I'm learning. And then we went to UN one day together to ask the UN Security Council to send monitors to monitor violence in South Africa. So Barbara Masegela, her PA then, he says, Bantu, please, man, insist that I must wear that suit with that tie, that shirt. You must be stately there. Yes. And so, and leave this nonsense of these shirts which are hanging. So I went to New York, and then at Hemsley Hotel, I said, Teddy, during supper, what are you going to wear tomorrow? Oh, that shirt of mine with, you know, that
patterns,
color.
Yeah.
I said, no. Please, there you will be addressing a lot of important people. So I won that particular day, but the rest of the meetings, no.
So did he wear a suit? Did he wear a suit that day?
Yeah.
Fashion advisors. Oh gosh. So you two are obviously very close, and that relationship unpacked quite a lot in the book, and it's really beautiful to read it. So people must definitely go and read more about that. But I mentioned earlier about your honesty and the TRC and your relationship there. So tell us the story of your expulsion from the ANC and how that affected your relationship with politics.
Well, the circumstances which led to my expulsion was based on the testimony I presented in the TRC. I went to the TRC to ask the Commission to compensate the families of the deceased soldiers of the then Transkei Defence Force who were killed on the occasion of an attempt to remove us from power, being backed by Pretoria government on the request of Matanzima and Stella Sqau that we be forcefully removed. So we justified the reason and explained to the Commission the reason why we defied or we removed Matanzima and Stella Sqau was because they divided an amount of 2 million amongst themselves in exchange for exclusive gambling rights, which Solkes now was after. And then when I left the hall, and I was called by Mbeki, Deputy President Mbeki said, Bantu, hey, I hear that you said Stella Sqau is corrupt, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. I was referring to a historical event. Everybody knows about that, but why we were there, we were saying the families of those deceased soldiers must be compensated.
Okay.
Then they blew it out of proportion and they were threatening me, I'm going to be disciplined. I said, no. Madiba, I remember that evening, Madiba phoned me early hours, midnight, yeah. He says, Bantu, I say that on TV, Kada Asmals and others are saying they are going to discipline you for what you have said. Won't you just apologize so that I can convince them?
Yeah.
And then I said, no, Daddy, no. As a matter of principle, I cannot do that because they have not read the testimony. You have a copy. Thabo has a copy. I gave you the copies 2 weeks ago. I will not withdraw not a single sentence from what I've said in the TRC. But I said, I know what I'm saying, it might put you in trouble in the cabinet.
And
so if I'm not wanted in the cabinet, please, I'm ready to leave the cabinet. And then Madiba still phoned me the following day insisting. I said, no. And then eventually I was taken out of the cabinet. And then they said they wanted me to go to the disciplinary hearings. I said, go jump. I'm not going to do that. You are also conflicted.
Now I can see why. Now I can see why people associated with Julius.
Why people liken your political journey to that of Julius Malema's.
Values and systems. I can't believe this is
but the relationship between me and Madiba continued.
Yes, of course.
Because 8 days after I left, I was expelled from the ANC. Madiba was asked by the media to say, after this 100 days of, after you signed the Constitution, the Constitution was approved, which things you think they were handled better or worse? The issue of Sarafina too and that of Bantu was not properly handled. And then I went to see him. I said, yeah, are you conceding that you guys, you are wrong in expelling me? Bantu, the leadership is still angry, and that includes you. And then I said, okay, on that note, because you have conceded, I interpreted that as an apology coming from you, and I'm withdrawing the challenge for you guys for having expelled me. I'm no longer going to go to High Court. And then I said, let's continue eating our semp and beans, musho, stemp mealies, and meat. And then we continued.
General, this is all the time we've got for today, but how amazing are these stories, South Africa?
Yeah.
If you want a chance to read more of these stories, it's all going to be in the book.
Go get yourself a copy.
There's some interesting photographs in there of private photographs from the General himself, so please go and look at them. It's a brilliant book to read. Lots of these stories, and go get yourself informed. General, thank you for joining us in the loft today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Clover wants to give you the chance to win daily cash and airtime prizes or the grand prize of a Toyota RAV4 when you buy 1 kilogram classic custard and a 1 litre Crush long life together. Well, we are sure you don't need more motivation than exciting daily prizes to add these Clover offerings to your trolley. We thought we would just give you an added incentive with a delicious recipe using both of these products together. So Konaya's got a plan for us today. I've asked him because my cousin's just come out of surgery, right? He's just come out of knee and he lives with me and he's always very demanding about food stuff. And so you're going to be making us something that I can serve to him right now tonight.
Definitely.
What's it going to be?
Well, we have Long Life Crush jelly and custard. So in the pot right here, we will have a bit of some mango juice. You heat that up, not a lot. You don't want it really overboiling.
Yes.
Or you'll just reduce and make a mango paste to it.
Okay.
That's not what you want.
Mango juice. Sounds quite fancy. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. So once that is sort of heating up, you get gelatine leaves from your closest maybe supermarket, and you get them into water for just a few minutes, and you want this consistency.
Okay,
you want,
so you want like a gelatine consistency from it.
Definitely.
Okay, cool.
So once that is warmed up, you just add that to the mango, the heated mango, and then we would add that to the glass with the custard.
Okay, cool.
So now I just need you to chop up the strawberries for me because we've got something extra today.
Well, I know you're adding fruit just because they look cool. These strawberries look cool, but obviously inside Crush is made with 100% fruit juice blends. So that means we're just adding extra. There's already fruit inside the actual juice, so don't worry about it for the nutrient perspective, but it's also got lack of flavors.
Definitely.
This is just for the outside.
So with that, we're not only making the jelly in a cup, we're also making jelly ice cubes.
I see.
So this is perfect for summer. I mean, it's hot. So once you have the strawberries right there, you just add a bit of strawberries into your ice cube tray.
Cool.
That'll look very pretty.
Looks pretty for a summer season. I've never actually made jelly inside an ice cube before. That's quite an interesting little technique.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty on a glass as well.
Cool.
And what I like doing, since we have mango juice already and we'll be pouring mango juice, I like using another crushed juice so that once you have it in the glass, you can actually see the ice cubes.
So that's kind of what you've done here already. You've kind of made a jelly and there's little ice cubes on that side. So once this is done like this is basically what you've set it inside the glass instead of an ice cube.
Yeah.
You either set it like that and get them to look like that, or you can do it like this. You then what? Add your Clover custard on top?
Right on top. So let me add the gelatine.
You can do that in the meantime. Am I doing this the right way?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is my way.
There we go.
That's it. I like the way that you work, my friend. And then
just top that out.
A few put of those on, put the whole ones on there.
So with gelatine, people really need to be careful with that. You don't want to be making rubber jelly where you just throw it anywhere. So the rule is 1 gelatine leaf, because you'll find them, the actual long leaves, 1 leaf for every 100 mils.
Okay, so 1 leaf per 100 mils. Don't go over that, otherwise you're going to get a very, very rubbery dessert. And that's definitely not what you want, especially when you're trying to make something that's, you know, tastes delicious and easy down the, what do you call it, your trachea. Down your trachea. Now listen, if you guys want a full list of the ingredients and a link to the recipe, all you need to do is SMS the keyword Clover. You send that to 33650 at a cost of R1.50. Remembering your free SMSs don't apply, and then all the details will come to your mobile device. And also, don't forget to stock up on Crush and enjoy your daily dose of goodness. You could win daily cash and airtime prizes or a Toyota RAV4 when you enter the hashtag WayBetterTogether competition. Buy a 1 kilogram classic custard and a 1 litre Crush together, have the barcodes from both products and the till slip in hand, and dial *120 *5676 hash and follow the prompts. T's and C's apply, and full competition details can be found on clover.co.za.
It's time for your chance to win. You could stand the chance of winning one of 2 1,500 Rand loot.co.za vouchers every week right here on Afternoon Express. All you need to do is download the My School app and select Chalk as one of your beneficiaries. It's easy. Download the My School, My Village, My Planet on your iPhone or Android device. Then click on the second link, choose who you want to help, and add Chalk as one of your beneficiaries. It's that easy. Remember, you can only qualify to win if your My School card is linked to the beneficiary Chalk. The Childhood Cancer Foundation. T's and C's do apply and are available on afternoonexpress.co.za.
My School, My Village, My Planet allows you to raise funds for what matters most to you. Afternoon Express, together with My School, want to help Chalk raise 1.5 million Rand for their new Pretoria home. You can get involved by signing up for a free My School card and selecting Chalk as one of your beneficiaries. Tune in to Afternoon Express as we give away weekly loot.co.za vouchers to those helping us make a difference. Together we can make every swipe count. Some great conversations had on Afternoon Express today, so thanks so much to each and every one of you for all your comments on social media. We've absolutely loved it. Hashtag Afternoon Express.
Yeah.
The General had to step out of the building, but oh my gosh, what an incredible interview.
Yeah. And also all over social media, people are absolutely loving the conversation, and they just love that he was here, and they've gotten to know a lot more about him. A lot more people are saying that.
That book is amazing, and I said it's a conversation for over a delicious meal, and that's obviously what we prepared today. So Kunai, thanks so much for dinner tonight. It looks good. Why do you want to start with dessert?
What? So is this what you made out of the
Clover Crush? Yeah.
Clover Crush. Wow.
Yeah, we made like a jelly out of that. Okay. And then, although I feel like Bonnie should, you challenged me earlier on in the show. Bonnie at the start of the show was like, why is it called a mandwich? Why couldn't it be called a woman? Yeah,
why is it called a mandwich?
So do you want to start with the mandwich?
No, babe.
Oh, why not? Why not?
No, because I'm healthy.
I mean, there's green, there's red. There's
no. It's not that. It's not that I wouldn't. It's just it's a big bite. It's a big bite.
Well, dude, please take one.
And there's no way to bite this on TV. Show me your TV bite.
I don't know. This is I told you this story before, but this is the first thing Jeannie ever said to me. I came on my show for the first time on Afternoon Express. We made a delicious food in the kitchen, and I went for a bite. And afterwards, she's like, "Danilo, you really need to learn to take TV bites because that was gross. That was gross." So, Jeannie, just for you.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Well done, well done.
That's why it's a mandwich. Would you do that? Would you?
I'll do it off air.
Definitely.
I'll bite the whole thing off air. So this is the one you made with the creme on ice.
Creme on ice.
Creme on ice. So nice. Is it tasting good?
It's so yummy. Earlier in the show, we mentioned a bit about My School, My Village, My Planet. And if you can win yourself a really cool prize to the value of 1,500, it's a voucher to loot.co.za. You need to really register for get your app sorted out. Go and download the app onto your mobile device. Then load your card onto the app itself. And then once that card's loaded, you need to select Chalk as one of your beneficiaries, and you can win some really cool prizes. So from loot.co.za, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a no-brainer. You get to select somebody else to be a beneficiary of like a great prize and great donation. And you get a chance to win. Like you can't lose, basically.
Indeed. And then obviously the keyword is My School, that you can SMS for more of those details. But all of that will be on your screen at the moment, so make sure you take a look at that as well. Tomorrow we feature hip-hop artist Tumi Tladi on the show, who is the son of legendary music producer and promoter Peter Tladi. He has finally released his debut album, and he'll be performing live on the show. It's going to be really cool.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that. Can't wait.
That ends the show today, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Keep using the hashtag, start the conversations, keep them going. Hashtag Afternoon Express. Bonnie's going to take her off-screen bite of her mandwich in just a bit on the show. Go check it out on social media. Good night and happy eating.
Good night. Love you.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.